I am going to tell you about top 5 apps that every Tesla driver should consider. And to be honest with you, some of these apps are just good for any driver, electric car, or even gas car drivers. So take a note. But before that, if you are interested in Tesla related stuff, go ahead and click on that subscribe button so you don't miss anything moving forward. First, let me just tell you, it's very important for you guys to research any app before downloading it. Definitely check out the reviews, definitely check out the company that makes it, the rating, how long it's been around, and so forth. So this is very important. Make sure that you are okay with all of the access it's going to have to your phone, because you know that's your stuff there. So I just wanted to make sure that you guys are careful before you're downloading these or any other apps to your phone. Now, first of all, let me get started with the very obvious, and that's a Tesla app. And if you don't have one, you are probably either not a Tesla owner or you don't have a smartphone. If you have both, that I really don't know what you're waiting for. It is an app that will help you with a lot of things. It's not a mind-blowing app. It just has very basic features that you want to be able to access basically remotely, and you know, lock, unlock, you can monitor the charging, and you can figure out where your car is at, and a few other features. So if you don't have it yet, please go ahead. You'll have to log in and you'll be able to use all of these features. Now, there are a few apps that were built on the same API that Tesla offers. There are third-party apps. Now, specifically the dashboard for Tesla, that one is for Android, and Remote S is for Apple. Now, they don't exist in those cross worlds for some reason. So the one is for Android, another one is for Apple, and both of them seem to be built for wearables, so basically for smartwatches. Now, as far as using the apps, you know, I have to say that my complaint and a lot of feedback that I've read about the apps is that the user interface is not really pleasing, especially the dashboard for Tesla one. Now, also these apps are kind of limited of what they can do because they're based on the same APIs as the Tesla app itself. But there are some features that you know, somehow Tesla didn't really implement it into their app that have to do with scheduling and for charging. And some of the features are very useful. For example, you can say, okay, I'm going to be going to a long trip on Saturday and I'll be back on Monday. What one of these apps is going to do is it's going to raise the charging limit all the way to 100% the night before to make sure you get us all really good charged, the entire battery is charged. It will keep it that way until Monday when you're back. It will lower it back to what it used to be, which should be about 90%, and you'll be able to get back to charging it just at that 90%. So something like that is pretty cool. Now, and there are a lot of other, no, I shouldn't say a lot, there are a few other features I like that just make your life a little bit easier if you are okay with that user interface. I should also mention that these apps, you kind of have to pay for them. And these apps are not made by these big corporations. They're made by smaller companies, so I definitely encourage you guys to research those, but they are useful apps. Now let's move on to another app that a lot of drivers use regardless of if they're driving a Tesla, an electric car, or a gas car, it doesn't really matter. It's called Waze. If you're not using it yet, this is an app for traffic. Basically, if you hate being stuck in traffic, or at least you want to know how bad it is, it not only shows you the traffic, because you know Google Maps and other navigation system will show you traffic, but it uses its very large community to sort of you can rely on what people who are in that traffic ahead of you will tell you about what's going on. Sometimes you will see some reports and people will type saying, you know, if you want to get, you know, faster through this jam, you need to use the right lane because the accident is in the left lane, right? So and just all other information that you need to know about the accident to make sure that you know, whether you want to take a detour, if you want to be stuck, and if you are going to be stuck, how long it's probably going to take. This app also tracks, you know, just heavy traffic and other things. Sometimes it will tell you where police is at. You know, I don't want to encourage that, but that's one of the features that it has. So it's a community-based app, and it will give you as much information about traffic as possible. And you know, there are a lot of other cool features there, but traffic is really what they're all about. I expect this app to be one of the first ones that will make it onto the platform when Tesla and other cars hopefully open up their their onboard computers, if you will, to app stores. It definitely will be a very necessary app to incorporate, or an app like that. There are other apps, so you can browse around and see if you like other ones, but this is definitely the ones that's pretty big. Alright, so let's move on to the next one, number 3. Now, plug share is probably the most popular one in that category, but the category is basically charging locations. This is where you can, look at your map, and we'll figure out where you're at, and it will tell you that these are all the charging stations that are around you. And the good part about it is that it's not going to be just Tesla superchargers or Tesla destination chargers. It will be all kinds of chargers, including ChargePoint and Blink and independent ones, and all kinds of chargers. It will also give you a lot of cool information about it. For example, what kind of a plug they're using, so you will figure out if you need an adapter or you're just not able to use that charger at all, which is rarely the case with Tesla. It will show you superchargers, but it will not tell you how many stalls are available, though that's information that you can't get into in the actual Tesla app either. This is only something you can see on your map in your car. I hope that will be the first feature that they add when they do their next update. And there will be also pictures and other comments about this chargers. Like, for example, I read on some of them saying, well, if you're charging, you're going to be illegally parked, for example. That's something important to know, that you're going to be risking a parking ticket or a tow, and there will be pictures of it. So it's pretty useful, especially if sometimes you're not in a rush, but you need to charge and you don't need that much charge. So instead of just parking anywhere, you can find a parking lot with a charger, so you can get some juice while you're shopping or whatever, in case if there is no supercharger around. So that app is very useful. There are a lot of other ones. I shouldn't say a lot. There are quite a few other ones, and each network has its own. Blink has its own. ChargePoint has its own. But this one kind of incorporates them all. I like the UI. There are others, so check them out, but this one seems to appeal to me the most, and I've noticed that a lot of people are suggesting it on the message board. So definitely consider the plug share. The next one is basically HUD display apps, and those of you who are going to be buying a Model 3 and really need that one, that one is for you. And there are tons and tons of different apps. The top one that I found is called Speedometer, but there's so many, and all they really do is show you your speed and a few other things. Now, of course, you probably not necessarily want to sacrifice just putting your phone on your dashboard while driving and not being able to use the phone. So for that, I would recommend to get maybe an older smartphone that's only like 30-40 bucks, or a small tablet. I don't believe you even need internet there, because I think it just needs to have a GPS. So check on your app what it needs to at least give you your speed. But you can really just kind of fix it in there permanently, and get one of those holders to permanently have a HUD for you if you're really missing it in your brand new Tesla Model 3. And let's move on to the very last one, and it's really a category. As you noticed, all of them are really categories with the main app or two that's kind of a leader there, and I just want to make sure that you guys know what based on my research, what those main apps are, and then you can kind of branch out from there. Now, this category is text to speech category. The one that I liked is called Read It To Me. There's also Drive Safely and many others, but basically what it does is it reads your text messages and your Instagram messages and emails to you while you're driving, so you don't have to look at your screen, which we all know is unsafe. And unfortunately at this point Tesla does not have that incorporated into your display, which I would really like that to be. It's definitely on top of my wish list for the next Tesla update. Now this app will read all these messages. Now you can pick which apps that you want for it to read the messages from, whether it's just your email or your Instagram or your text messaging. So you can control. Some of them offer different types of voices, male or female, and some of them even do celebrity voices, which I think is kind of fun. And in some of them you can speak back to it, so they will send a reply to that email or text message. But of course you are at the mercy of speech recognition, as we know, that doesn't always work, especially for people like me with an accent. Now, what most of them have, and I think it's pretty cool, you can set it to send an auto reply to the person who just sent you that message saying, hey, I'm driving, I've read your message, and I will get back to you as soon as I get to my destination. And I think that's a feature that a lot of people might really like, because it's really making the sender of the message aware that you got that message, but at the same time they know you're not going to reply right away, but you did hear their message that you know that you need to reply to them. So I thought it was cool. Again, Read It To Me is the one that I thought was the best, with the best user interface, but definitely research others as you wish. So this is pretty much it. These are the apps that I think most of you will find useful. I suggest to download some of them anyway, just in case if you need it one time, so it's already there and configured, especially Waze and the Plug Share. I think you can't go wrong with downloading those. Yeah, if you think that there are apps that I've missed, or even a category that I missed, definitely put it down in the comments, because I want everybody to learn more about other apps, including myself, that we can find useful for our cars. So that's pretty much it. I will see you guys next time, and remember to stay charged using one of these apps. Okay, I'm done now.